सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम. Yes. Can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? Yes, please. Anything from the link and then move ahead. Yes, please. Anybody? Yes.
Hari Om ji.
Chaitanya. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yesterday Shri Krishna started with answering the Arjuna's query about what happens for someone who starts walking on the path but doesn't reach the destination, and Arjuna asked, will it all be lost? So Shri Krishna said it is not lost. There is no regression of consciousness due to death. You will resume in the next birth from where you had left. And uh, this person may be born in the house of pure beings, or if lucky in the house of yogi, where the atmosphere is more conducive to progress on the path. uh, because of the purvabhyas, this person is by nature attracted to path of yoga and divine, and he tries to follow the same in that sense. Then we had talked about the yeah, he also said about over the period of births, the karmas and thoughts of these yogis are purified and they become divine before reaching the end destination. So that can happen over the period of births. Not may not happen in single birth, but yeah, it may happen in over the period of births. Then to receive grace, I think he said that effort and sincerity, they have to be coupled. So and such person which is doing which is taking efforts sincerely with full shraddha, complete surrendering and love for the whole world and divine, such person is dearer to me. So he also said that Arjuna, your all doubts will be resolved, but for that, your foundation and focus has to be clear. It is not like that. When Shri Krishna said thousands start following this path, but only one realizes the whole truth or whole realization of mind. That is not because something like Shri Krishna is failing them. It is just that they get stuck somewhere in the moha or prakriti, and they are actually not able to get out of that, and that is the reason only one of them probably is the one who reaches the end goal. And there I think we are stopped.
Yeah, yes, Chaitanya, absolutely. So this question of yoga brashta, that was a worry. That was a fear inside of Arjuna's mind only. It was not something which was having any foundation. When Krishna explained, he talked about the metaphysics. He said, yes, what karma you have done, it remains. It goes ahead, it takes you to a particular point. If you stop doing the good work, you will not deteriorate in terms of your punya. It will remain at where it is only. And so you'll have to continue the journey. So it's like a half completed project will suddenly not cease to exist. It has to go towards completion. Then Krishna talked about how sometimes, if you are lucky, it is a very rare opportunity that you have a spiritual atmosphere. It's like a rose getting all the care and love inside of a nursery. It can grow, but that does not mean only a good nursery can make a rose grow, isn't it? Sometimes there are plants which grow outside. Some of them don't get any nourishment also, but the aspiration is strong to grow, and so they get it. And these are sometimes even sturdier and stronger than those that have received the nice sanskaras also. Why? Who has given the sanskara? It is a nature only. Nature has made it stronger. Prakriti is functioning. And we can say now we'll probably get introduced to what Prakriti is by Krishna. Because one thing is in Prakriti, we also have doubts also, isn't it? A part of us, like Arjuna is having doubts. Krishna says, see, when you are firmly, your foundation is firm in the divine consciousness, with Shraddha, your doubts will also be cleared. Last Adhyaya, again, we were shared about Shraddha. Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi, jnanibhyo matodhika, karmibhyo adhiko yogi, tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. Become the yogi, Arjuna. This yoga is what you need everywhere. We are not realizing it. Most of us actually don't realize it. We are searching for this only. Yoga. Yoga is what? Oneness. Oneness with what? With the divine. What will happen when we realize the divine in life? Anybody? What will happen when we realize the divine? Actually, if life is too big, okay, in our house only, if we realize the divine, what will be the difference? Immediate practical difference. Anybody? Or Lakshana, if we can say, what will be the indication or what will be the, if, yes, Renuji.
Contentment.
Yes, ji?
Content.
Contentment, Trupti, Trupti. One person said, oh, my house will become Vrindavan. Right? All the fights will disappear. All the little things, reactions, behavior, action. This person speaks something, I react. Oh, and unnecessary. This is not required. Sometimes they say relation becomes sweeter because of some fights. Those fights are playful fights, isn't it? Not the one where there's hatred and frustration, dvesha start emanating. That spoils the quality of life, and nobody wants that. Well, how will we understand it when we raise our consciousness? We are no more pulled by the lower, inferior energies. But that is something we have to see. Krishna says, when your consciousness is full, you will hear from me directly. Yes, Chaitanya ji, you were saying something.
Yeah, I had one doubt. So Shri Krishna said there is no regression in consciousness because of death. But
Yeah,
is there a regression in consciousness because of the wrong works, or you say
wrong
not,
karma.
yeah, wrong karmas?
Karmas have consequences.
Yeah.
So good karma and bad karma, both are there. Both will have their consequences.
Okay. So that
Yes.
is, so it is possible with I mean bad karmas,
Yeah,
the
yeah. No,
regression
it
in
is
consciousness.
the end. That is why many people feel I'll let me end my life. It will start off with like scratch, plate is clean, and then let me start off. No, it does not happen like that. Sometimes you will be in a more difficult situation again because this is a very strong ghor karma. If you see in Mahabharata, there are some stories also, isn't it? After doing very wrong karma, what happened to Ashwadhama? Anybody? Or there's a punishment of says,
Went
yes,
to
yes,
Trishanku,
Sindhuji.
Trishanku Swarga.
Yes, Ji?
Went to Trishanku Swarga.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, this thing is, the consequences are always there of good actions, bad actions also. So, in this birth also, it's just that it is not ending because we don't know what happens after death. We feel it is full stop. But it's not a full stop, it's a journey. Who knows? We're actually, our own journey, we are furthering ahead. One step, one step. But the fact of yoga brashta, it was very interesting in Gujarat, and I came to know yoga brashta is actually not considered a bad word. They call yoga brashta to exalted souls. I was very surprised. Somebody called yoga brashta. I'm like, acha, ठीक है sir, okay, thank you. And went, and then afterwards I asked sir, ये सकारात्मक था या नकारात्मक था? I didn't understand what attitude it was told. So, but the person was an elderly person, so he listened. No. In our Gujarati, we say yoga brashta is someone who's reached very high state, close to moksha, but 1% is missing. So he has come back to complete that 1%. So that is called. It's not an insult at all, or it's not something which is wrong. Because this aspect itself, it is yoga is a journey. Yes, Ramesh, you want to say something, is it, sir? No, all right. So let us continue then. So thousands are seeking, but among thousands of you are realizing this is not the problem of the path. It is about the hurdles, what we call pitfalls and sadhana. That is there on our journey. So many pitfalls are there. Let us continue. Probably Krishna is just trying to share now, fourth shloka onwards, what are the factors? What are the factors that are governing? He says, Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakriti rashthadha. The elements, earth, fire, water, ether and air, Pancha Mahabhuta, and senses, mind and reason. Senses, mind, reason and ego are there functioning as the eightfold divisions of mind on all beings, their impositions, nature tries to assign. So Ashtada Prakriti is being introduced. What is this Ashtada Prakriti? Ashtada Prakriti consists of Pancha Mahabhutas, the five elements. Where are the five elements, anybody, in our life? Do we see the five elements in our atmosphere around us? Or are they connected with us? Are we connected with this Pancha Mahabhuta? Anybody? Are we? If yes, please tell me.
Yes, yes.
How is it?
How is it? Our body is made of Panchabhuta.
Okay, our body is made up of the Pancha Mahabhutas. Okay. So I think it was Tukaram who said, Vithala tu Veda Kumbhar. You are a mad potter. You have played with the five elements to make this pot. And he says his body is called like you see, there's earth element also inside of our means what is it? Ultimately, we are going to be that only. The earth is the base of our Sharira. Inside of us, water is there, isn't it? Science also says yes, our body mostly contains water only. Then what about Vayu?
Vayu is also there.
Vayu is also there. Then
Yes,
what
fire.
about Agni is there in the Ayurveda, we call it Jathar Agni.
Yes,
And that was there in the, even if you can say the parietal cells inside, they are secreting this. HCl is there, secretions inside, acid, energy, exothermic reactions, endothermic reaction, fire reactions are also taking place inside. So yes, fire also is there. And
Akash
ether,
is also
Akash Tattva is all everywhere. Intercellular spaces, isn't it?
yes.
Each of the cell has that. So yes, Pancha Mahabhutas, we are very much connected.
And
Yes.
our Prakriti also, the nature. If
Yes.
it can be felt as if I am very much, the prominence of anger is there within me. That is the fire element within me is more prominent.
Okay. So
You
are
can
we
say
in
that
nature? Are we in nature or is nature inside of us?
we are a part of nature. We
Yes,
are nature. We are nature.
we are
If
nature. So
yes,
it is
we are.
inside us and outside us also. So
Yes,
we're all maybe we have slightly differences in appearances, tastes, thinking, and all of it, but ultimately you can say we are part of this nature, isn't it, Jay? All
yes.
right. So the Pancha Mahabhutas are an important factor of our existence. Along with that, mind, reason, and ego. Man, buddhi, ahankar. So the reasoning aspect, the intellectual faculties, they're all present, isn't it, in all of us at varying degrees. Mind, yes, all of us have a mind. Each mind functions in a unique manner. The same Gita verse, when said, can have different meanings for different people. Yes or not? Why is that? Because our mind is functioning in different ways. We have different set of experiences. We have a different knowledge base only from which we are drawing inferences in our buddhi. So mana is there, buddhi is there, and there's one more item called ahankar. Ahankar is there. What is this ahankar? Anybody? Yes, ahankar. What is this?
Ego, that is the I-ness. I do it.
I.
Then
All
I
right.
just point myself.
Yes, yes. So who does not have it? Anybody? Who doesn't have ahankar?
Probably no one, just in different degrees.
Yes, we all have it in different degrees, isn't it?
Yes.
This, some say even the Ishvara has one. Aham Brahmasmi, that is the highest aham. Or Soham Asmi, or Ekoham Bahusyami. I am one, let me become many. So that was the bija of the creation only. But this was a divine ahankar. Ours is what we call a lower ahankar. Why is it lower? Probably we will see why is it lower. But I think we've many times heard, don't you know who my father is? Don't you know where I am from? Don't you know whose street this is? This belongs to me. This mine. This tendency of possession, like Dhritarashtra also had. Mama kaha pandavaschaiva. My children and these children of Pandu. This feeling of I is very strong and it's inside all of us. Yes, Renuji.
Yes, that is the feeling of I, me, and mine. That I was saying.
Yes. Yes. But what? Yes, yes. So when we talk about it, we talk about becoming selfless. That is the way of the yogi where a person is not vulnerable. But this beach of ahankar is there inside every single person. Sometimes it is this only which starts a journey also of a person. Of sadhana of a person also begins through this only because it's a part of our prakriti. And sometimes egos should not crush the ego, should transcend it. It's like you're having a wild horse. Will you destroy that wild horse because you can't control it? Or will you transcend it? There's something called Swabhiman and there's called something called Abhiman. I am an Indian. That's not Ahankar. That's Swabhiman, isn't it? And that's required, isn't it? That feeling is there. But after a while, you have to understand Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam also. That cannot be lost. Yes, Anjali ji wants to add something?
Yeah.
No.
I
Yeah,
want
please
to
tell me.
say, I want to say, one who is one with God, he doesn't have ego,
Yeah.
and other people like us, we have terrible ego, just not ego, but we have so much of ego.
Okay. So maybe a yogi is in a place where very rarefied ahankar is there, but ahankar is there in the yogi also because if ahankar was not there, our astitva only will not exist. It's like suddenly you remove the skeleton of a person. What will happen to the body? It will become a blob and mass only, isn't it? Without it. So what happens when we say you have ahankar to someone else? Who is saying that? It's our ahankar, no? The ahankar in one is identifying the ahankar in another. So ahankar is present everywhere, but yogis learn to push this assignment of control which nature has put. We are not doing anything to get ahankar, isn't it? Do we take efforts to get ahankar? No, it just comes on its own. It's already there. How dare he speak to me? Or see, now I am this smart. Nobody should comment on my hairstyle. This is the best hairstyle in the world. What is that? It's again ahankar only. So this is there in the nature. Prakriti is assigning some impositions on all of us, consciously or unconsciously. It's like some kind of software is being introduced into us without our knowledge on it. It is like that Ashtada Prakriti, eightfold divisions of Prakriti, which are assigning their control. One friend of mine said, I don't believe I am under the control of nature. I am different from everyone. And one of the ways he decided to prove it was by not going to sleep. And this was during a college festival. But you see, the will was so much that for 2 days he was able to do it. Third day also he somehow managed. Fourth day, which was the final day of the festival. Now 3 days this person has not slept. Fourth day he was planning to, I will entire festival I am going to celebrate, I am going to do everything and I don't need to sleep. I have enough stores, energy inside of me. But it is commendable, such a person, because normally a person cannot take it beyond a day. But you see the strong willpower inside of him. It was it was ahankar also, isn't it? That ahankar made him feel that. And fourth day, what happened is he was found lying down in the classroom and he missed the most important event. Because Prakriti is assigning some limitations on us, some bandhana on us, and that is why yoga sadhana is done to transcend these bandhanas. One of the bandhana is also ahankar. So, eightfold divisions of Prakriti are imposed upon us, Pancha Mahabhutas. Many doctors understand this Pancha Mahabhutas and give treatment also based on the Pancha Mahabhutas. It's called naturopathy treatment. Just water, hot water, cold water treatment. It suddenly helps the nerves also in fire. Ayurveda is basically called Agni Chikitsa only, mainly. So there are different pranayam. Again, pranayama yogena sarva roga samucched. Vayu only. Vayu and prana shakti. Akash sattva. So something like that. This is some like many just meditating on the supreme divine, they are able to reduce hypertension. I have seen certain people taking BP before meditation and after meditation, and they are able to show tremendous what we can say difference. How? Well, they're connected. But one must understand that these are all limitations on us. We cannot completely say we are aloof or we are out of it completely because we are Prakriti. And this is the Ashtada Prakriti. Then,
Shushruji, sorry,
yes,
one question. We said these are eight, you can say components, but is the whole Prakriti made up of all these eight components, or are we saying that individuals Prakriti? I mean, we are talking about the individual here.
is we are part of Prakriti and Prakriti is part of us. We are a component of a larger. So Prakriti not
Correct.
just in many languages iski Prakriti begad gayi. They say no means there it refers to the individual levels, personal health or his personal balance. We can say homeostasis in this person's body is disturbed. But this Prakriti is also connected with the cosmic Prakriti also.
Okay, so these are all part of, I mean, just not just a person, but we are saying the whole Prakriti is made up of this.
Yes. The environment is like this for us.
Okay.
Where we grow, where we thrive, how we live. This is part of it. Is that okay, Chaitanya ji?
Yes.
Has it answered? All
Yes.
right. Let us continue. But this is not all. I think as of just Chaitanya ji's question, immediately Krishna is saying the next shloka. He says, Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. But these divisions eightfold are still inferior. For my energies that become life force are superior. O mighty armed warrior, know you must and behold, only a fraction of my forces all material beings hold. Krishna is saying, see, this is what this Ashtada Prakriti is considered a lower Prakriti. Means Prakriti also has division, a higher and lower. This is the lower Prakriti. The higher Prakriti is that which is functioning and creating life force. You see, when the life force enters the body, then only you start living, isn't it? And that life force, that Chetana, is said to be higher than this Sthula or manifested Prakriti also. And he says, see, all beings are holding only an infinitesimal fraction of my energies. If you were to couple the energies of all the living beings inside, it will still be just a small fraction. A quantum of the supreme energy is what Krishna is saying. Because this is something which is the higher Prakriti, the force of Chetana, the force of life, the force of consciousness. And sometimes when people connect with that consciousness, the rules of lower Prakriti change. That is why there's a beautiful bhajan by Anup Jalota. Prabhu ko niyam badalte dekha. That is the experience of a bhakta. I saw these rules of nature. What does a Hatha Yogi do? With his sadhana, he transforms his physical body to break the limitations of the body. Any one of us without a sweater, we go and sit in the cold for say 1 hour. In his temperatures, sometimes just sub-zero temperatures. Most of us will feel frozen, will have hypothermia, God knows what other troubles will suddenly manifest inside of us. But here, wearing a kacha, one yogi is sitting and meditating and is not feeling anything. How is it possible? Well, he has learned something. With that consciousness, he has controlled and transcended this assignment or limitation of this Prakriti. That is the transformation. That is a transformation which is talked about. Sri Aurobindo talked about a supramental transformation, where he said, when that supermind consciousness shall manifest, all these limitations and barriers shall cease. And that is the right direction where humanity must progress. We are still fighting an unnecessary battle. They're not even trying to see the real picture and fight the bigger battle that awaits all of us, collectively and individually also. But we have to see that. So Krishna says these are the two forces, and both forces are part of the divine only, isn't it? Ashura Prakriti also, we can say they are lower part, but they are lower part of divine only. And the other is the higher one. So we need not make the bhed here also. Gita is union. Gita is not making bhed. But many times that happens unknowingly, unconsciously. That is why my Damilji, my guru, always says that don't use the word ego only. This person has so much ego. Who is saying that? Ego is only saying that, isn't it? The ego inside of me is saying, oh, see, this person has more ego. This person has very less ego. Again, why are we going there? Ego is going to be there. Just ignore it. Instead, focus on your karma, focus on sadhana. Stop looking at other people's ahankar. But let us see now what Krishna says. He says, Etad yonini bhutani sarvani tyupadharaya aham kritsnasya jagataha prabhavaha pralayas tatha. Krishna has shown his truth. He has shown the truth of his existence. He says, I am the creator and I am also the destroyer. Again, people make a difference between Krishna he is Vishnu, and Vishnu is only the perseverer. He cannot destroy. Destroys work is going to somebody else. No, it is not that way. Kali and Krishna, is there a difference in Ma Kali and Sri Krishna? Anybody? Is the bhed there? Isn't it the one consciousness? Or the forms or our perceptions are different. I wear glasses. Today I wear tinted glasses, which are blue. So everything will get a blue shade, isn't it? Tomorrow I choose another. Yes, someone wants to add something. Is it?
Are we saying it is different forms of God or different gods or goddesses
Yeah.
are different manifestations of the
The
consciousness?
one supreme consciousness as perceived. It is said,
Okay.
Ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. One truth is understood by the wise to be in different ways. And that is how they express it. So that Ved is not required. Krishna says, see, these two are both mine only. Krishna can say this is a lower energy, this is higher energy. Can we say, have we reached that state to say this is a lower consciousness, that is a higher consciousness? Where are we standing? Yes, Chaitanya. Yes.
So we are saying even this is, that higher consciousness talking through Krishna or
Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Krishna himself has said that. And you know something, this nature of mind is always like that. This Smriti comes, Vismriti also comes. So you know what Arjuna is being told so beautifully by Krishna, you will assume Arjuna will remember all of it. But Arjuna enters into the battle, isn't it, after this? Into the battle, what happens? Again, adrenaline rush, action, reactions, all of these. That is Prakriti working, no? And Prakriti only is making him forget. So after a while, he feels, Arey, Krishna had told me this Gita. I need to hear it again. After the battle, he asks Krishna, please, you see how it's actually quite obnoxious to ask after listening 700 slokas directly. You still feel the need, no, please tell it to me again. But Krishna replies, he says, I will not be able to. Again, the same way. I was in that consciousness and that lay and that moment was there, so I shared it. The same Bhagavad Gita will not come again. It will not be the same Arjuna also. Arjuna has now understood so many things which were not understood before. So now it will be different. He does give the same message, but it becomes a different Gita. It's called Anu Gita, a smaller version, not 700 verses, 300 verses. So this Prakriti functions through all, and when the divine enters into the Prakriti, he also has to function according to the rules. Only he is a master of the rules, he is the master of the game. He is a player. The problem is when we are not the player, we become the played, like ping pong balls, no? We just have to be pushed around. So that is why Yogi says, no, enough. I am not a ping pong ball. I have an aspiration. I am something bigger than this. So let me align myself to that higher consciousness. So Krishna is saying that these two energies, both are mine. He says, know these two types of energies to be mine, manifested in all living things of my creation divine. For I am the creator of this creation, and it is also I who am its destruction. I can create, I can destroy. The one who can plant, can he not uproot? Or you can say, no, his job is only planting. No, there is no bandhana. There is no bandhana at all. What he has created, he can come. Again, if it is the creation also has happened as per some kind of divine grand plan. So destruction also may be a part of that, because without destruction, where is the new creation? It cannot take place. So Krishna says, I, it is I. This I is not the same I which we feel. If we say it can be, ours is a distortion of that supreme I. When we realize that, then it would become Soham Asmi. I am Atma Brahma. That realization. Satyam Jnanadhanam Praptam Paramapadam Shantam Vimala Sukham. Everything comes naturally, easily. You can get that realization when we reach that state. Krishna goes on, he says, Mattaha Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya Mai Sarvamidam Protam Sutre Manigana Iva. The Krishna Sutra is revealed here. He says, O Arjuna, there is naught that exists beyond me, for nothing can more supreme be. For all existence, I am the connecting seed, like the thread necklace, like the thread linking the pearl necklaces, every bead. Like the sutra connecting beautiful pearls. Each pearl is unique, isn't it? Even those that are cultured, you will be able to find uniqueness in the properties of cultured pearls also. But Krishna is saying like each of us are like pearls, and he is the sutra. He is the one thread that is linking all of us. We may be appearing different. We may be thinking different according to our minds. Our buddhi may give different interpretations. Each one's will be different. All ahankar levels will be different. Stages of consciousness will also be different. But we're all connected by that one single consciousness, and that thread, Krishna is saying, is I. I am that sacred thread. We talk about Yajnaopavitam. Yes, that sacred thread is there. But there's another sacred thread which we don't realize that is connecting and linking all of us. That should be understood. But the bhed happens because we get trapped in the lower Prakriti, what will be later on understood as Maya. But let us see. रसोहम अप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशि सूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु हे पौरुषम नृषु. In the flavor and the taste of the waters, it is I. Oh Arjuna, I am the light of the sun and the moon in the sky. The primordial word of Genesis. I am Om, the Vedic sound. The manhood in man, and in ether's subsonic element, I am found. So the flavor and taste of waters. Water also has a taste, isn't it? Pure water also. I think we all know. Ghar ka pani alag hota hai. When you go to have a glass of water from the house, no matter where you are. Sometimes some people's home has a salted water taste, but still, no, this is the taste I grew up with. Because that aspect, there's a taste, there's a flavor which is there, which which we experience through our indriyas. This is an indication that the divine is also present, right, in the world. We always deny that this all is false, all is only illusion. But no, he says, I am that rasa. I am the rasa, and that rasa can be got not just in water, in the moments also. There can be this, I think, with our loved ones, those special moments that we experience. Don't we call them divine? The most beautiful moments. Because we feel, what is this? Well, that is the rasa of the moment, and you have tasted it. That is the rasa which has to be understood. That rasa is, when you understand it everywhere, you are part of what we call Rasa Leela. We are going to enjoy that. Krishna's Leela happening, and it happens everywhere. Just very recently, somebody got a stroke. I just told about her. Usha ji, her book is getting released, her first book at the age of 72. She says, I'm thankful for the aneurysm. She said it was a stroke of luck, the stroke that she got, which left half of her body affected. And for 19 years, she's been fighting it since that stroke. But how can such a person? No, she says, I see this, I see Krishna in it. Krishna really brought it about this, and I'm really grateful. And a lot of, not just her, a lot of people are saying, Madam or Maji or Guruji, you were having this for this reason only. You had to connect with Krishna, so you got this. And she says, I'm so grateful I got connected to so many of my family members because of this particular aspect. How is it possible? Well, when you understand the sutra, what is the sutra? Krishna is the sutra for everything. That is the point that is being made. He says, Arjuna, I am the light of the sun and the moon in the sky. The light of the Surya, which is reflected in the Chandra. That is the same as what Krishna is saying. And it is I. Our Gayatri mantra is also about that only, isn't it? But are we talking about a physical sun? Sri Aurobindo talked about, he said, Savita Surya, the light that powers the sun, the light that is behind the sun, the physical sun that we see. That is I, is what Krishna is saying. I am in Om. Om is that word of what they call Shabda Brahma. Om is the Brahmanad, which brought about the creation. When we start going deeper into Om, we'll probably understand that Om is everything. It's the Mandukya Upanishad also. Is I am there in Om, that Vedic sound, manhood in man, and in ether's subsonic element I am found. So even in that unmanifest element of ether, which is not fully understood, which is a kind of a rahasya, that ether also, it is I only, is what Krishna is saying. And the Paurusham inside of a man. They say, I am the man, I am he man, I have the strength, all this feeling, that strength also, the physical strength, that also is mine only, is what Krishna is saying. Don't take that so much of ahankar that it's yours. He goes on further. He says, Punyo gandha pruthivyam cha tejas chasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. On the earth, I am the purest original fragrance. I am that Punya Gandha. I am that purest fragrance. And for the fire that burns, I am its heat and radiance. What is the fire without heat and radiance? It's nothing. The warmth, that warmth of the fire, it is I, it's brilliant and its brightness and light also. We can't separate it, isn't it, from the fire? It is one. The heat of the fire, the warmth of the fire, these are all properties which define fire. And they are the defining properties. And he's saying, I am that defining property of existence in all. He says, I am this purest fragrance. I am the vitality that nourishes all beings living. This vitality inside of people, a lot of people have it, isn't it? That is why you feel sometimes, oh, where is this energy coming from? It is divine. I think it's very, sometimes in very young children also. Are, what is this law of conservation of energy is broken is what most parents feel. Child has this small stomach. Its food is even little. This much the child eats. But both mommy and papa, full day after eating full 3 meals also, they are tired. But this spring under the feet of the child is not lost. It is still jumping. And where is the energy coming from? Where is it? It's a vitality. That vitality is responsible for our growth, for our progression. For me, Damleji at 77 is still having the source of energy where I feel, yeah, Raish, if I was 20 years younger, I would be able to keep up. Because that energy is there. He's at 77, meeting at 4 a.m., meeting at 12 p.m. It is no difference. At midnight also, he is having a meeting in the morning also. The same energy and same force. Because that consciousness is there, which is powering all of us. Sometimes we feel dull, we feel out of what we can say energy, no? That time we should think, chalo, charger hai, connect kar lete hain. But to that divine consciousness, because it is I, is what he says. And he says, not just everybody, even the tapasvi. Where does he get the strength to do the tapasya? He says, it is I who am giving the strength to the yogi to do the tapasya also. Many times when people go on pilgrimages, they don't have the strength to walk. But they just say the name and then they complete a journey which will otherwise feel very difficult. People actually did a trial, a clinical trial on the effect of Vithala chanting in the Varkaris because the Varkaris go long distance. Vithala, 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 Vithala. They actually tried to say ki how science has an interesting way of probing everything. So this sound is like this Vithala, so it is creating a vibration here. That vibration is going somewhere else. Whatever doctor gave a hypothesis. But people who were doing it didn't need a hypothesis or understanding to do it. And many of them had certain difficulties which would have medically rendered them impossible to even continue on that pilgrimage. But they got the strength to go ahead. Why? Well, the energies for completing the sadhana also comes from me only. So this is what Krishna is saying. The purest fragrance also. I think everybody must have heard of this ittar, isn't it? Attar or ittar. Yes. Anybody can tell me what it is? What is that? Anybody?
It is
Yes.
extracted from flowers, right? I mean,
Yeah.
get that scent.
Flowers, roots, leaves. Yes, Karthik ji.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's basically the essence
the
that's
essence.
captured from roots, flowers, basically from nature. And
Even soil, actually. There's a mritika also. That is also an ittar. Soil is essence also. And this was a traditional technique which is followed even now, and especially in certain parts of UP, especially what Kanna just said. From ancient times, they used to. I had a fortune because of our lab for which we need to search for raw materials across India. Damleji took me directly to the person who is making, and it was supposed to be he's making from the time of the kings and rajas. So for getting a small, small vial of attar, he had to use so many roses and so many hours of hydrodistillation. So many hours. And he said truckloads of roses come to his place. And then one small 1 liter becomes 18 lakhs, 1 liter becomes 80 lakhs also to a person, and people from abroad get it because it's so powerful, so pure, and it is unbelievable. The fragrance of it, a small drop, even without a drop, just touch the, you know, cap of that vial onto the palm, and the room is suddenly fragrant with that one smell. But that original essence is there even in all the little flowers also. From far, maybe we may not understand it, but yes, when it's concentrated, that consciousness is there. It is there. And many times when people go into dhyana, we have learned about two techniques, isn't it? So one person, particular person told, while dhyana, suddenly I started getting the smell of chandan. And what is the meaning of this? That is the meaning is it you are getting the smell of chandan. What more you want to look at? No, no, no. This is something I'm sure I try to logically take it out of discussion because sometimes you don't want to keep going into that aspect. What experiences you've had, you should assimilate and move on, not hold on to it. But I really want to know how did I get it? What is it? Is it wrong or is something? Why? How did I get it? I asked if you are feeling it's wrong. No, it was not feeling wrong. It was feeling right. But how did it come logically? Well, no, we don't have to worry about it. The reason we offer fragrances to the divine is because these are considered representatives of the divine. The presence, the sahvas of the divine. You can get that smell, the gandha, the punya gandha. Many times when you go deeper into meditation, you suddenly become considered to certain things. These are indications of a divine presence. That's all. Let us finish that. Let us not go beyond it that at the moment. But this is the truth. The pure fragrance. Same way, you get example, you get very bad smell, dirty smell. We know what that associates with, isn't it? Rat is dead in the house. Will you call it auspicious? It will be inauspicious, and that smell goes everywhere. It is something like that. Immediately we have to take care, clean. What is not clean, what is will have the bad smell. We know that. But when our consciousness is purified, we will experience that essence of the divine also in our lives also. Many yogis, they without using attars, they have beautiful fragrances when people go around. That is the consequence of connecting. Krishna goes on.
One thing I
Reach
would like to ask, sorry for
yes,
interrupting.
yes, yes, you.
This question was there in my mind. When we look at a child,
Hmm.
he or she doesn't perceive that smell.
Okay. Yeah.
So when it grows, then he starts perceiving the smell. So has the child transcended that smell, power of smell, and
Ah,
again we start
no,
manifesting?
no, yeah. But when child also gets the sense of smell where it is pure. A child knows sometimes child cries when near even a small child who doesn't know to talk suddenly starts crying when somebody comes in and sometimes starts laughing when somebody comes in because that perception is definitely there. But I think what you are mentioning is probably the
This,
bheda is not done. The bheda
the,
is not
smell-
done.
the
Yeah.
smelling part. The smelling part.
No, the sanskaras are created and then we start associating smells with memories and then that becomes afterwards. Means the smell is generally associated with memories. It is dirty. The fish smell is like this. Why is it that like this? There's somebody who's sitting in the fish market every day. You ask that person to sit in a attar warehouse, he'll say, "Oh, I cannot tolerate this smell. I'm used to that sugandha of the machli." For that person, that is the important smell, though it is very bad for us. No, those are sanskara related. This is what I'm. This is something we are talking about the purest essence and fragrance that is beyond the sanskaras. But like you said, as a child is free from sanskaras, isn't it?
Yes.
So there is no bheda, there is no distinction. So it is not getting having associating immediate. It is creating memories. A child is not yet has not experienced, but sometimes with experience comes these memories which assign their sanskars onto us. Many times we get a smell, and sometimes people get unknown fears also triggered by a smell. Why? This is the purva karma or purva sanskara, which has
Agree.
been yeah. But here, these senses of fragrances, we are talking about the essence. When some people get this, champa, I got that beautiful smell. Wow, how beautiful smell that is. How did it come? Or even just offering to the divine. Let us not go into that metaphysical aspect also right now. But just in offering also, when we light, we have different agarbattis, isn't it? So this, they are lit. They give beautiful fragrance. Why are we giving it? For the divine also and for us also. So we can align, our mind also becomes closest.
Thank you.
Yes, Hariom. Krishna goes on. So he says, Bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham. Know me to be the seed of all lives eternal. O Arjuna, my truth is for you to conceive. I am the wisdom in the awakened intellectual, and it is my radiance that the illumined receive. So Krishna is saying, see, I am the Bija. He said, I am the Sutra, I am the Bija. Means the seed is there, and the seed is pure, and the seed is one. So what will happen when the seed is good? When it is nourished properly, the plant will also be beautiful. The fruits also will be beautiful from that. It is just a natural consequence. So this seed is there in all of us. So we cannot say somebody has got a bad seed or somebody is lower, somebody is inferior. There is no such statement. That statement does not have value. It is the outer samskaras which make a difference. Oh Arjuna, my truth is for you to conceive. This is the truth I'm telling you, but you have to perceive it, you have to conceive it. I cannot make you conceive it. We can't outsource our sadhana, isn't it? In today's world, people outsource everything. But sadhana, can we do that? No, no, please do japa for me. Transfer it to me. But sometimes I've heard of cases where children are transferring to parents the punyai. That's possible. But that is again a metaphysical aspect of transfer. But otherwise, and who will transfer for who will do sadhana for us? Chalo, chalo, sit in the house, eat well, sleep well, party as much as you want. I'll do sadhana for you. Can we find somebody like that? No, we will have to do our sadhana. So this truth, Krishna says, I have introduced it to you, Arjuna, but it is for you to conceive it. It is for you to join the dots. I have told you how it has to be done, how the dots can connect, but you have to do it. I am the wisdom in the awakened intellectual, and it is my radiance that the illumined receive. The buddhi also of the wise people, sometimes what is this? What a great, how intelligent this person is. It's my intelligence, Krishna is saying. It is mine. I have given the light. That light you are praising. That individual should suddenly not think, I am so smart, I am so great. Ankar will again turn off that light inside of him without his or her knowledge. Same way, the Teja in the Tejasvi persons also. That is the light of the divine only. Krishna goes on. He says, Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshapha. I am the strength of the mighty and the strong. The bala inside of the strong people. Well, that is also strength, isn't it? Bhima was how? Bhima karma rokodaraha. In the Gita we have is and he's very strong. Arjuna is Mahabahu, the strength, the full physical strength also. He says that is something. Many people in the yoga sadhana say it is nothing. It's not the case. Instrument is there, no, of the divine. Physical body also is something which we should not ignore. Just because we are thinking about higher consciousness, can we call body as lower, inferior? No, no, not at all. But the strength of the physical also, he says, that is mine. Some people are extremely strong, and some people are not physically strong, but spiritually very strong, and they do some physically unbelievable feats. In the village, I have seen one man, he looks like what they call sabal or the kadapar. He looks like the rod only, which is used for digging. But how he is digging in the sun for so much, somebody with big muscles in the gym who's gone every day also may not be able to do what he is doing. The strength is there. There's a strength inside of individuals, and Krishna says it is I. And then he goes on, devoid of attachment and passion. Arjuna, I am in the energy of procreation also. That's sacred. But devoid of attachment and passion, again, what happens is many times our human nature intervenes. So he says, I am there because again, procreation is what? For what? For taking the consciousness ahead only, isn't it? New generation is created and this is a cycle. Even plants, animals, everywhere. Who teaches the animals? Nobody teaches the animals to procreate. But it is there and it has been created by the divine only. It is created by the divine because it's a part of Prakriti for the species to propagate, to grow. It's some kind of grand plan which is working, and Krishna says, I am there also. Many people forget that also sometimes. So I'm there also. But then, here, which is because everywhere we are talking about giving up desires, isn't it? Krishna says, Mam phaleshu kadachinam, forget desire, even expectations from people and actions you should not have. Then what is it? Well, there is one desire which is not wrong. That is what Krishna is saying. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatar shabha. He says, I am Dharma's desire, that is not wrong. Devoid of passion. You see, when the passion and attachment come in, they create what we can say, the impurities. The wonderful attar is having some kind of dilution. Here, when you are understanding your dharma, for the dharma, the desire to uphold your dharma, what are the dharmas of an individual? Anybody? Because Krishna says desire to uphold dharma is not wrong. It is not a wrong desire. It is a divine desire. Anybody can tell me what a dharma is? Or what is your dharma? Anybody? Yes, Renuji.
To me, it is to live and let live.
Achha, to live and let live. That is your understanding. But as an individual, do you have only one dharma or do you have multiple dharmas to uphold?
That is righteousness. I can say no. There are
Yes.
multiple dharmas, na?
Means, like a teacher has a dharma of teaching, a student has a dharma of, means what Shishya dharma is said. As a Grihastha ashram has Grihastha ashram's dharmas.
Yes.
So, the desire to uphold dharma is right. That is why soldiers, when they have Rashtra dharma, they say, Bharat Mata ki Jai, and they go running after terrorists. Or Jai Bhavani, Jai Shivaji, and they go attacking terrorists, even if they have to sacrifice their lives because they've understood that dharma. And that's not a wrong thing. That's not a wrong thing to uphold the dharma. But here, the fine line is there, devoid of passion and attachment. While upholding the dharma, again, if passion attachment comes, soldier who is saying Jai Bhavani and Jai Shivaji might suddenly become full of adrenaline and in a bloodlust end up injuring civilians only, the ones he has to protect. Why? Because it's uncontrolled. That is why passion has to be controlled. That is why it is required to be controlling. That is why we don't have to have attachment. Attachment is the source of all troubles, is what Krishna says. Even the most strong person can become very weak because of attachment, easily manipulated because of attachment. When that person is free, and because Satya Marga is lost, that is why these are all what we can say deviations which take us away. Krishna goes on. Yachaiva satvika bhava rajasas tamasascha ye matta eveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mai. All modes of ignorance, passion, or goodness. Three gunas have been introduced right now. Sattva, Raja, Tama. They have just been introduced. We've just got the visiting card where we don't know the entire story of the organization. It's something like there is something called Sattva, there's something called Tama, there is something called Raja. Right now, Tama can be called ignorance, Sattva can be called goodness or virtue, and Raja can be called passion. So let us see because this is not going to leave us. Once Krishna gives us the full introduction of Sattva Raja until the 18th Adhyay, it will keep blaring in different ways. We will keep sharing different ways of how these gunas operate. They are like the three universal operating systems in Prakriti. We all have different hardwares, but software is the same. Either like in modern times, mostly people use either Mac or they use Windows or they use Linux, one of the three. Something like that. Sattva, Raja, Tama, three operating systems. And maybe all three are inside the same system itself. But let us see later when it's introduced. Krishna says, all modes of ignorance, passion, or goodness, it is from me that they have manifested from. From me, I am the creator of these three modes which govern a person. Krishna tells something very interestingly. He says, even though they all exist within my oneness, I exist not in their outer form. This is a riddle. All three have come from me, but I am not in the surface of all three. This will be looked at a little bit later on, because this requires a bit of introspection as well. But this much we can understand that they have come from me, but in their superficial state, I am not present in the outermost state. I am the base, I am the sutra, I am the core, I am the bija. From me only all is manifested. But somewhere I am not there on the outside. What does that mean? We'll have to see later on. But it is one of the mystic riddles of life only. The divine consciousness has created, but on the surface level, it is not visible. त्रिभिर् गुणमयीर् भावैर् रेभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परम अव्ययम्. Krishna says, by these three modes, man bewildered goes, and the truth of my divinity he never knows. So these three operating systems continuously keep the processor busy, memory space is occupied, that a person is not able to recognize that source program. The person is not able to recognize the divine. The divinity is, a person is oblivious of it because of the functioning of these three gunas. For when one is hoodwinked by the three, my supreme imperishable existence, he can never see. Again, it's a mystery. The divine is present where Ishvaraha sarvatra asti. He is there everywhere. But can we see divine everywhere? What is preventing us? Anybody? What is it that is preventing us?
The Maya.
Absolutely.
Maya.
Yes, a delusion. There is something called Maya. Maya is preventing us from realizing this truth, which is actually surrounding us, which is around us. When do we realize it? When we become calm and out of these fluctuations, that time we can. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult. This is only the introduction of Maya. We can see Devi Hirsha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Somebody has realized Maya, somebody has partially realized Maya, someone has not realized Maya at all. But Maya is operational everywhere. Sometimes people understand and say, no, everything is false. Everything is falsehood. The entire existence is false. Why? It is that Maya that has made them feel that. Krishna says, this is Maya, the illusion divine, that engulfs every creation of mine. Crossing over beyond the veil can very hard be, but only by surpassing it can one approach me. Krishna says, it's a divine Maya. Devi Hesha Gunamayir Maya. Through the gunas it's operating. Through the gunas this Maya is operating, preventing us from a realization. And it's very difficult to come out of its trap. It's like somebody entering the water and not getting wet. Is it possible? I entered into the swimming pool. I will get wet. We have entered into the Srishti. We are living a life. Maya is functional. This is the domain of Maya. Are we going to get trapped is a big question. But Krishna says, only by surpassing it can you realize me. So like, imagine you are going in a desert. You are thirsty. And suddenly you start seeing oasis. Is it always true? Most of the time it's mirages only, isn't it? Because of the thirst, they say the mind is playing tricks with you. Don't get carried away. The guide will tell you, no, don't run. You will say, no, this guide is a fool. I can see that. I can see that oasis. It is, I'm thirsty. He doesn't know how thirsty I am. It's all right. Let me at least taste that. Maybe if I got a little bit of taste, my thirst will go. And so you start running, and whatever little energy you had, you are wasted running after what? More sand only, no water. But you imagined it because you were trapped in the Maya. That is what Maya is. And who is trapped? Everybody is trapped. But what about the bhaktas? Anybody? Are the bhaktas trapped? They're always having smaran of the divine. Krishna says, if you cross this, you will come to me. What about the bhaktas? Yes, anybody? Are they trapped or are they not trapped? Yes, Kartik ji.
They are not trapped because they are able to control
Yes, they're able to control
their
Maya.
Maya.
Yes. Okay, all right, Kartik ji. You know, you see, Narada, no?
to have that
Yeah,
Buddha
bhakti.
bhakti,
Yeah,
faith.
yeah, the faith helps them. Absolutely. Yes, Ji. We'll just look at one small case. Narada, isn't it? We all know Narada Muni. What was the japa that he was doing all the time? Narayana, Narayana, all the time. So the smaran of Narayana is never lost. So as he was walking with Krishna, he just looked at Krishna and said, Krishna, I will not be trapped in Maya because I am always thinking of you. Krishna also smiled back and they walked a few paces. He said, I want some water. You get me some water. And Narada decides, Chalo, let's go. And it was usual for us, it is a very big visual spectre to imagine. But for Narada, it's a regular everyday aspect for him. Having the company of the divine, he was fortunate. So then he goes. As he goes, he suddenly sees two groups of people fighting. So this group, as in it's like almost mini armies of two people, and they're all heatedly arguing, wanting to, and they have weapons also. So he's a yogi, he can understand, and any passerby can also understand when people are angry and have weapons, what's going to happen? It's going to lead to some kind of bloodshed only. He decides, let me try to. Lokasangra has to be done, isn't it? By the yogi also, by everybody. So he says, let me try to intervene. And he goes and he tries to see what's happened. Why are you fighting? And then each person has a valid reason to support their side of the argument. But both are driven by passion only. And Narada, being a Muni, is detached. So he is dispassionate, so he's able to quickly see, this is the fault. This person is having this thing, this person is having this. Why don't you both take one step out? If you take one step back, you can actually get a beautiful reconciliation where both sides will not have to such a great loss. Because if you fight, you are definitely going to lose. Nobody is going to win out of it. Instead, just take one step back. They are so surprised that how did he think about this, or what a margadarshan we have got. This problem has been plaguing us for decades, and with his just one presence, he has solved it. So they say, let us please come to the king. I would like to see the king. Please meet the king. He will also be very grateful. And the king honors Narada for this beautiful work. And he says, I am an old king. I have to go to my Vanaprastha ashram for my sadhana also. I was just thinking how I can go ahead, and it looks like the divine has answered my prayers and you have come. He said, see this beautiful wife of mine. Please, please, I think you will be the right person to direct. Narada looks at her. She's also a very pious person, and she also somehow, from the corner of her eyes, likes Narada's teja, his appearance, everything. And she also smiled and he's also agreed. And he says, yes. And the king uses the magic word. He says, for Loka Sangraha, we have to do something for the betterment of the world. This Rajya needs a direction, and I am old and I will not be able to help so many people. Narada agrees, and then he becomes the king. But he becomes a brilliant king because he doesn't have Swartha, isn't it? So he arranges all alliances from all neighboring kingdoms. The battle, you see, all whatever wars were fought, they were actually very horrible wars which had depleted the resources of the kingdom. He starts building all of it, and then there's a great peace everywhere. And Narada is having children also. It is all beautiful. But suddenly, again, Prakriti, nature brings in famine. Can man fight famine on his own? No, he has to submit to it. So again, all resources are depleted. Then there is a secret meeting happening among his allies. This is the weakest Narada can ever be. This is the right time to attack. If we attack him right now, we have a chance. Otherwise, we will always have to pay our tributes. We do not want that. Let us become free. Let us fight and finish him. And they attack. The problem is it's not one directional attack, it is happening from all directions. Narada is running out of resources. His soldiers are tired. Suddenly, his Senadipati comes to him and says, Maharaj, the outer gates have been breached. They will come any time now. This kingdom is now fallen. Run. He says, Maharaja, please run. He says, I cannot run. No, no, no. If you survive, this kingdom will survive. There is one Suranga, there is a tunnel for you to go out. This is a secret one. Please take your wife and your two kids. Go, escape, flee. You will see another day and you will again revive. We have that faith. You will be able to do it. So Narada escapes. He goes in that. But as he goes, he enters into a village. There he's seeing what from the palace, what he could not see, no? The poverty everywhere because of the famine. Everywhere it is horrible, and nobody recognizes him. He is also in a different Vesha. When man comes very hungry, thirsty, because the days are passing in his escape also. 2 days are over. Whatever little food rations he had, he has also lost it. Just now he has just one morsel. But one hungry man comes and asks him, please give me this one morsel. So Narada is having Dharma Sankat. Children or this person? He says, no, no, it's all right. I'll give it. My Dharma is supposed to give it to this person. So he gives that last morsel. His wife fights with him for the first time and she fights very angrily. You cannot give this to him. Our children, look at the children. They are hungry. They have not eaten themselves. They will die. And he says, no, no, no. Something will be arranged. Don't worry. And he gives it up. Next, she screams because one of her child has fainted. He goes close. He sees the child is not breathing. And then a few moments later, the second child also fainted. And they've really not had anything, no food, water. And this has really led to something which is so horrible for Narada. He's not able to understand. And his wife, she gets frustrated. She says, I made a mistake in marrying you. You are not knowing the basic things. How did you let my children die? I want to leave you. And she walks away from him. And that is when Narada just screams out to the divine loudly, Krishna. And Krishna asks, what happened to my glass of water? You remember the story, right? Krishna had asked him to get a glass of water. And he had told, I won't get trapped in Maya because I am Narada. But you see, Narada also got trapped. This is Maya. The moment we think we will not get trapped in Maya, you will get. Narada, what happened was, he thought he will not get trapped in Maya because he's always doing the Smarana of Narayana all the time. But that was also an Ahankar, isn't it? And through Ahankar, Maya plays the moment Ahankar enters inside. And how did he escape is the important aspect. Because the story looked real, isn't it? But it was all Kalpanik. It was in his world. Narada was visualizing all of this inside when it was not actually happening. And how did he escape? That is a solution. Maya metam tarantite. Anybody? What was the point that helped Narada escape? What was the point that made him escape? When did Krishna ask what happened to the glass of water? Anyone? Yes, Chaitanya ji.
Yeah, I mean, he called for Krishna's help.
Yeah, he called out sincerely. It was a sincere cry. Everywhere else, it was a lip service. He liked that woman. He wanted to get married. He had a ichha to have this particular family. And so he is going on following his likes only and visualizing everything. Thinking he is doing good. He is doing, Loka Sangha has to be done. So yes, I am now the Raja. I have this Praja. I. But here he forgot. And if he had a little bit smaran, oh, where am I? Krishna asked me to get water. He must be thirsty. He would have got it. But no, that smaran was lost. So the smaran is lost when we are disconnected from the divine consciousness. That is when Maya operates. And the freedom also is when you don't have to fall down or you don't have to visually see what Narada saw to come out of the trap of Maya if you are having this continuous smriti. That is why Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, isn't it? When he became the Raja, he went and he offered it to his Guru. He offered his entire Samrajya to his Guru. The great Maratha emperor who is considered to be avatar of Shiva himself, Shiva Kalyana Raja, whose sword is given to him by Ma Bhavani. That was the, what we can say, Shraddha of all his followers, that Ma Bhavani only, she gave a flaming sword to Shivaji. Well, this person, he goes and he offers his kingdom to his Guru. And you know what his Guru does? He says, yes, I will take it. He says, he takes it from him symbolically and says, now rule as my regent, rule as my representative. Again, what does Swamiji need? He doesn't need anything personally, isn't it? He is already in the smaran of Sri Ram. His name is only Samartha Ramdas Swami. Right during one time, when as a childhood, he realized it, and then he went on to that marga only. That he did not need any material possession. But the Swartha must not enter inside. Even for such a person who is selfless and pious and hardworking like Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, he had to offer it to the feet of the Guru. So the Ahankar does not ever come in. That is exactly what happens. So when one lesson we can all draw from today is, if Narada can get trapped in Maya, Narada is an exalted Muni. What about all of us? Anybody? Do we have the chance? Or we can say, no, I read Bhagavad Gita, so I am not going to get trapped in Maya. I am doing these many japas. I have done 20 mala japa today. So today I will not get trapped in Maya. Can we say that? No. So Maya is there. Maya is strong and we can say powerful, but we can escape. And when we see the divinity also, that is where, when we see the divinity, Maya Meta Tanantite. And it's called Devi Hesha Gunamayir Maya. Meaning through the gunas it's operating, but it is divine. So Maya is also not useless, what we call. It is sometimes it's an illusion, but sometimes some hurdles are important, isn't it? Some hurdles help us become stronger also. So that is the role of Maya. It is like Anandamayam Jagadidam Sarvam Parabrahmanam Avartitam Maya Api Parabrahma Prasantasya Santarupinam. A finite form of the infinite Maya is also part because it is originated from the divine only. That Ananda cannot be lost because of this. But understand it, and it is beyond the will. We have to penetrate it. The way we can penetrate is give a call to the divine. If at all sometime you are lost like Narada, remember the calls are answered. Yes, they are. But best is if you remember always, it is something like that, isn't it? There is a beautiful Kabir ka doha only, which says, "Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. Jo sukh mein sumiran kare to dukh kahe hoye." In bad times, everybody remembers the divine, but in good times, nobody. But if in good times you remember divine, when will bad time come? How will it come? All times you are remembering the divine. The kavach of the divine will be with you. So this is one thing. So again, this Maya is something which is a complicated aspect. We cannot quickly try to, intellectually divide it into something or create the what we can say structure of Maya or its functioning. But at least this much we can understand. It is not so much so all pervading like the divine. It's a finite form of the divine, and we have to penetrate through it. And this, we should be sure that we don't get trapped in it. Simplest way is the smaran at all moments. Narada just had to remember, no? But we only feel bad for Narada, no? Because what visualization he had, these children have fallen. It was not true. But look at that attachment which happened suddenly because we felt it. Why did we feel it? Because it is our nature to get attached. No? To what is good also we sometimes get attached. And this aspect, this smaran should not be lost. Why am I here? What is my purpose? If that you don't deviate, you are very clear all the time. Maya will not affect you. So with this, we'll conclude. Can somebody summarize what it is and what we saw today? Then we'll conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Yes, please.
Yeah. We started with Sri Krishna explaining about Ashtada Prakriti, which is Jala, Vayu, Agni, Akash, Dharti, and then Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar. And Shri Krishna said that Ahankar is kind of embedded by default in everyone. So, and that is also in a way required for proper functioning of us. So, even though it is bad to go take it ahead, but it is still required in some some form or the other maybe. Then it was described as a lower prakriti, and then the higher prakriti is the force of Chaitanya or force of life. And he said all the living beings together hold only a fraction or quantum of my energy, and it is very infinitely small fraction of my energy. So that from that I think we can get how powerful or how great that energy is actually. Shri Krishna said that he is the creator and he only is the destroyer, and there's nothing beyond him. He's like that sutra that links everything together, that holds everything together. And he gave the example of necklace of pearls and that string which is actually holding all the pearls together. The pearls may appear different, but yeah, they're the same sutra which is holding all of them together. Then he went on explaining about that he basically is everything. I mean, from your we can say the wisdom in awakened one to the and also I think energy of procreation and many things that he said that I mean the good aspects as well, and sometimes even the bad aspects they have manifested from him only. So yeah, and he said that what you said that one desire which is not wrong is that desire to uphold dharma, but that desire without any attachment is what is important. So if you are having some attachment, and for that attachment you are trying to hold up the dharma, then that desire is not right. But it is a pure desire that if it is to uphold the dharma, having that is not wrong. Then he talked about the Om, which is the sound of, you can say, creation or Brahmanad, which has brought the creation. And he also touched upon Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, three gunas, which kind of create the functioning of them, create illusion, which is Maya, which then prevents us from seeing the truth. And he said you actually have to transcend these things to actually realize the truth. So yes, to understand that that he is the truth, and but he also told Arjuna that he has to conceive it. I mean, he cannot make him conceive the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that we have to realize it.
Yeah.
And that way, Krishna says, I am the Sutra, I am the Bija, Raso, Apsu Kante, I am that purest fragrance, I am everywhere. Whatever the strength of the tapasya which a person is doing is also from the divine, the brilliance and light also. It is also the divine only. So this aspect of realization will help a person not get entangled in the ankar. Many times people say, no, I am in charge of this project. This project runs because of me. Many organizations, because they are good at it, definitely. So that is there's no doubt about it. But I am the sole responsible person who can run this project. That feeling comes in. And then for some reason, that person has to leave the project for a short while. And when the person comes back and is surprised, how did this project run without me? And some parameters show it ran more effectively. And that person is then disturbed. And what is it? How is it? Well, that is sakshatkar, no? That is a realization. No, this can run without me also. So there are so many things in life which we feel, I only have to do it, or I am only doing it. Like Atlas, no, carrying an entire weight of the world. We feel, I am doing it. I have to hold the weight. Somebody would have just gone and told Atlas, Bhai Sahab, Sheshnag is already holding the Prithvi. Don't worry, go for a walk, go in the park. You don't have to eternally carry the weight of this world. He would have also been free. Unfortunately, he didn't have a friend. He was a titan. He had to get that punishment. So something like that, we don't need to punish ourselves by always thinking that we are only responsible for everything. We are the source. We are a part of something divine, a divine, what we call game, which can become Leela if you become conscious. But if you are unconscious, it becomes Maya. And in Maya, there is pain. Maya, there is suffering. There's happiness, but there is no Ananda. And the happiness immediately attaches to suffering, like we saw in the story of Narada also. He had some happy moments as a good king, bringing about great unions everywhere. But ultimately, what was it? It was just a matter of his imagination and not real thing. Not at all real. But he didn't realize it. So for him, it was real, isn't it? He felt it was real. But the truth manifested when he connected with the divine. And that is something we must all seek and strive. All right, let us conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaः, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om. That's it. Krishna Vande Jagatgurum. Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om. Namaskar ji. Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om.
Jai Krishna.
Hari Om. Jai Shri
Hari
Krishna.
Om.
Hari Om.
Jai Shri
Hari Om.
Krishna.
Hari Om ji. Jai Shri Krishna.
Hari Om.
Yes. Hari Om. No